going on here, and what I love to see is what happens is, and it's almost kind of an unintended consequence, but businesses are sprouting up because of this, like ours.
Yeah, you see across the street, the apartments have now leasing signs out that were not here 2 weeks ago. And I'm sure we'll be seeing coffee shops and other transit-oriented development arising quickly. This neighborhood has not always been as shiny as it is right now.
No, it hasn't. And you know, and it's still got it's grit, I would say, but it's definitely more multimodal in terms of people. What would be the word? Yeah, it's diverse and it's nice. So we're rolling up to Bicycle Transportation Alliance right now. Let's show a video. Brian, are you ready to show Fast and Reliable? This is a super inspirational video about a guy who started a business as a bike messenger, and you'll see what's unique about that in just a minute. You are watching CrankMyChain two-way TV, and we're ready to roll. Okay, muting out.
My company name is BNL Courier Service. We're fast and reliable. You get your package there delivered in less than an hour. And so give us a call and try us. It's the riding, you know, it's the cycling. I love the cycling. I love the freedom of it. I love seeing the impression on people's face when I pass. It's like they don't realize that I have one leg until I reach like 30, 40 feet maybe in front of them. So this one lady was walking with her kid. She said, "You see that guy? When I tell you to do something and you tell me you can't do it, I want you to remember this guy." I lose my leg riding bicycle by saving a kid from getting hit by a truck. I'm riding my bike going home, and this ball come across the street, and a kid was running across, and a truck was coming. So I dived my body off the bike to save the kid from getting hit by the truck, and my leg get caught on the truck and burst out. After the accident, like 6 months later, I get back on a bike. But my brain, my senses wasn't used to the one leg. So when I go to ride up and I go to pedal with my right leg, it wasn't there, so I fell. Right. So I'd be like, oh damn, I lose my leg, you know. It's just when I came to New York, I was homeless. You know, I used to panhandle, I used to sleep in the shelters. By the time I started asking people for money, there where I figured I was gone. I was out of it. Knowing that you're the type of person that work for everything that you want all these years, and now you go to a country that you have to ask people for stuff. I mean, how would you feel? You know, you will feel down, you will feel out, you will feel like you have nothing to live for again. My life changed when she picked me up, you know, and everything started coming back into play. She took out money from the bank, like $2,500, put in the house with somebody who she don't know, you know, and telling me if I need money to take and buy whatever I need. I took $1 out of $2,500, I took $1. I still call her on her job and say, bet I took $1. When I get money, I'm gonna put it back, okay? And that was it, you know. That's me, because I don't let people's stuff burn my eyes. If you have something and I want it, I ask you for it. If you tell me no, I can't argue with you. I don't know what you did to get it. You know, so that's me. I'm old-fashioned.
Well, he has one leg. I just figured he could ride or walk, that's all.
He say, how you gonna do it? I say, I got my bike. He say, your bike? I say, yeah.
Whatever he can do, you know, he can do.
If I could do the messenger job for Steve and take the same wetting and the same snow and the same rain and everything, that's it. Why can't I do it myself?
Can you go to standby like this?
after 6 months, was my first client. And then things start working. I get one client now, I get one client next couple of weeks, and then they start building up. I might be a heck of a boss, a bitch of a boss sometimes, sorry to say that.
Fast.
Oh, well, she didn't call it in a rush. So.
That's what she told me.
Yeah, but that's what she told you, but she didn't tell me.
She didn't tell you that.
No. So I can't charge you, I can't pay you for a rush because it wasn't a rush at the time when she called it. But it's something I love to do, I enjoy doing it. You know, the only thing is about the work is, it's kind of frustrating sometimes because, as I said, during the week time, I have to be like, hustling to bring ice cream and change and pay my worker.
Okay, no problem. Take your time.
Make sure that's on the matter.
That is the sign. Welcome back to Crank My Chain, two-way TV, and we're out in front of the Bicycle Transportation Alliance. Here with Scott Bricker,
hey,
Executive Director.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining up for Two-Way Television Live.
Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah, we really appreciate all the videos that you've been doing for us every week, telling us about what's going on with the BTA, advocacy in general. So it's great to have you actually part of the actual show today here.
I'm glad to be here. And it's yeah, you want to hear some things that are going on? First of all, I see that you guys have your BT stickers and the walk and bike stickers on your bike, so that's very cool.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So one of the things this week is that each got a job description for a new statewide organizer position. So we're looking for people who have experience with organizing. What we're hoping to do is to develop large coalitions around the state, different communities of people who want to increase funding for bicycling and walking, and someone who has an organizer background. We're looking for also diversity on our staff. We're interested to have someone who speaks Spanish. We don't have that. We have a bunch of French speakers, some other languages, but we're going to be starting a 2-year organizing project that would hopefully result in increased funding for bicycling at the state and federal level.
So if you're out there, and it's open to anybody in the country, right, that might be interested in this. Yep. Well, hey, we should get on our bikes and roll and talk. We got these buses that are going to come here. So let me grab my bike. So I think we'll take a left, and then we're going to go down second or third, and then get on the new pathway there. What's that called? The new path? The buffered bike lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow you. Oh, no, lead up there. That's great.
Okay.
Lead until started, and I'll drop to the back.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So you're watching CrankMyChain TV. We're here live with Scott Bricker from the Bicycle Transportation Alliance. Now your focus is Oregon and Southwest Washington, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, even though, I mean, it's not a national agency.
No, we're primarily Oregon. We do some work in Southwest Washington, and one of the things that we've been working on is the Columbia River crossing, and we've had some harsh words in the last couple of weeks for the project, and strong opposition.
Well, I want to let you know, just from personally, I really appreciate the stance that the BTA has taken on this. As a member, it was, I'm sure, a tough decision, but I'm glad you did.
Well, we've spent a lot of time over the last couple of years on this project, and really the way, I mean, I would say that an effective way to be government advocates in the government is to participate. You know, you actually spend time, you participate in the process. I mean, I think it's a grant. And then when the process goes wrong, you know, when the process goes wrong, when you believe that the results are not going to be what you plan them to be, then that's when you oppose the project. We had so it's taken a long time for us to really get to this place where we're clearly opposing the project, but from a process standpoint, we believe that participating and stating what we need was was a key part. So yeah, I appreciate that, but and it has taken a long time for us to get there. But again, it's part of the complex process of being a successful advocate in the community.
Well, and now you were talking just before we got on our bikes, you were talking about the funding from the state of Oregon.
Yeah. So
What's that about?
well, a lot of the money for bicycle projects come from either the federal government or from the state government. The bicycle lobby, the bicycle advocates have really we've been fighting for sort of table scraps for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So one of the big initiatives, the BTA, is to increase funding for bicycling overall. We're going to try and make this light here.
Yeah, let's make the light.
So a big, really a key component of enabling us to do that is to build our coalition stronger. I mean, the BTA is well respected at our state capital in Salem. We're also very well respected in the Portland metro area and in our federal delegation, but we need other organizations to be asking for the same thing. We need the health industry to be saying bicycling is important. We need the unions to be saying bicycling is important. We need the low-income advocates to say bicycling is important. We need the children's advocates and the educators to say bicycling is important. And really the way to do that is to organize. It's just really basic grassroots organizing. It's making your case, building allies, building your database. And once you develop those partners and those partnerships, then you can make a call to action for a unified ask. You could develop advocacy strategies that are, coalition-based as opposed to just the BTA trying to, outmuscle the automobile industry, which is, quite frankly, pretty challenging. So, all right, the new buffered bike lane.
Here's the new buffered bike lane. I'm sure you guys were in on this.
We sure were. Michelle from our office worked with the city really closely on the development of this one and the cycle track up at Portland State University.
This is great. Hey Ryan, not Brian, but Ryan, why don't you fall back with us here when you get a second?
Hey, we also have another bike business behind us. It's Magpie.
Is that, oh wait, come on up here. Is that Magpie behind us?
Let me fall out of the screen.
Okay. Hey, we're doing a live TV show. Are you with Magpie Messenger?
I am.
You on the way to a delivery?
I'm on my way to lunch.
Ah! Well, say hello to folks. It's live TV right here. What's your name?
Yeah.
Dave from Magpie Messenger. Another example of another bike-based business here in Portland. See you, Dave.
So to do this, they had to take away a travel lane. So that's one of the big things that, one of the things that we're moving towards. I've talked a lot about, our bicycles, cars, and sort of those kinds of things on the show. And we're really not, we need our own travel lanes. We need our own, actually, if you go to Europe, the best places for bicycling, their bicycles have their own signals. They have their own travel facilities. And so it's not that they're not permitted to travel with other automobiles, but they actually create whole systems that are geared for bicyclists. So instead of saying, oh, this is a system for cars, let's see how we can squeeze bicycling in, the methodology is bicycling is important, and we need to provide a system of bicycle routes that would be optimized to get the most number of people riding. And protected bicycle facilities is absolutely key to engaging the people who don't feel confident riding today. And a percentage of our population, the mothers, the grandmothers, and the children, and I say mothers because really women ride bikes a lot less than men do, percentage-wise. We need to get all those people riding bicycles, and providing really safe and optimized bicycle routes is going to be is key to getting those populations engaged.
So you just talked about building coalitions, and one of the big thing we've been talking about today is bike-based businesses.
Yeah.
And that's a coalition that's, very closly related to you. In fact, you've even put some support, the BTA has put some support. Let's take a left up here.
And another left.
You mean to one?
Yeah, to start.
Okay, well, we'll keep going for a little bit. Does that work with you, Brian, or do you need to? Okay. Yeah, we started about 12:15, so we're going to push the show a little bit longer. Kind of a new way of doing the show. Instead of starting right at noon, we kind of let people go into the room. We're going to head down the other buffered bike lane on this couplet, which is on Southeast Stark here. So the Bicycle Transportation Alliance has gotten behind, oh wait, these bike-based businesses, which there's a lot of. I mean, we're just running into them just on our ride around. I mean, this is not set up.
It's exploded in the last couple of years. It's awesome. Yeah, so the BTA, we've been working on developing basically a business membership for the last 9 months, and we're actively fundraising for it. For us, the business membership is a little bit more of a broad concept, but as part of that, we believe that bicycle-based businesses are really a key aspect of a sustainable economy. You know, it just makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. And so Michelle, who's our Portland advocate, and she wears a couple other roles, has been helping facilitate meetings. But it's really not the BTA's project. We're just being supportive because we think it's a great effort of the bicycle-oriented based businesses to organize. And we think that from an advocacy standpoint, that it takes, this is sort of, again, back to the organizing perspective, it takes a whole entire community of different types of businesses and community members and residents to advance a cause. And so we're not in the environment anywhere where like the BTA is sort of the voice, the only voice. You know, there needs to be a wide range of voices that are calling for these things. And that's, you know, I think you see that in any kind of movement. You just see a lot of different spin-offs and organizations and people who get interested, and that's great. You get new champions, you get new blood, you get new energy, and more influence, quite frankly.
You know, another organization I'm involved in is We Are All Traffic, which really kind of tries to focus on the safety side of things, especially when there's a media frenzy that's kind of not in our favor, like when we've had some of these accidents. There's a lot of these groups coming together, and it's not just cyclists, it's pedestrians, it's people with children, it's people who like to not get hit by cars, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which should be just about everybody, right?
It should be everybody.
And that's the beauty of some of these facilities that are created. Not only do they increase the availability of the streets to mothers and other users that may not feel comfortable, they also enable our businesses to succeed and thrive. So the facilities, it's many different people that these bike facilities should appeal to and should be utilized by.
Well, I think, and that's one of the arguments against doing this kind of stuff is that it's going to impede commerce, right? I mean, we hear that all the time, and I think you can see one of the unintended consequences is look at all these businesses that have sprung up since Portland has done this kind of thing.
There's a traditional methodology, I mean, maybe 50 years old or whatnot, but it relates directly to the development process, to the lending from banks. I mean, it's really ingrained, which is you need to have on-street car parking and lots of car parking available. And that's just a business model that has been sort of put out there and ingrained. Is it accurate? No, because if you look at the most wealthy cities around the world, car parking is quite limited, in fact. I mean, just think about New York City. You know, car parking for New York City is $20 an hour.
Oh, you know, we might need to take, never mind. Can we just sneak through there?
We can do bike lane.
Okay. Oh yeah, right, okay, that's cool. We'll do bike lane. I'm sorry to interrupt you. So some of the most wealthy countries are
cities. So, you know, I mean,
forward down to the. Sorry to interrupt again. This is the difficult part about doing this show downtown from the back of a bike. We have to worry about where we're heading and traffic and such.
So, I mean, just the paradigm is shifting. You know, in Portland, we have over 50 businesses that have requested the removal of parking so people could put in bicycle parking. Really what you need for a successful business are people. And New York City has a much higher density of people. Not that many people drive cars or taxis or subways, there's bicycling, there's walking, but it's the people commerce. And bikes are smaller than cars. You can get more people if you have more people on bikes in a community, in a parking spot or in a downtown than if everyone drives. And it's already been shown that downtown would basically have to have 5 or 6 more like 30-story car parking towers if everyone who biked to downtown drove. So just the cost, anyway. Reallocating space has a lot of benefits.
I've seen that, especially with the Broadway, the removal of traffic through Broadway. They're saying that it's actually increased traffic flow from the surrounding streets and increased business, I've heard, in Times Square.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to fall back here.
Okay.
You just go ahead of me.
All right.
I think that's right. I mean, places, especially like Times Square, tourist destinations and whatnot, and people prefer to have a place where they can walk around and bike around and where they feel safe and comfortable, and there's public plazas. Any magazine picture, travel article is not going to show the congested suburban streets of the community. It's going to be the downtown and the walkable plaza. And ultimately around the world, it shows that those kinds of areas are really great for commerce. That having a true mix. So not every, even in Europe, they're suburbanizing, and maybe that's not ideal, but they've also focused within their core areas on providing for bicycles and pedestrians. So I think what the city has done in the last year is awesome and innovative, and we're working hard to really expand the innovative treatments, and the way you do that is get money. Actually, this week, the Metro submitted, I also mentioned this on a past show, a $100 million application for non-motorized transportation projects to the federal government as part of a stimulus grant. It's really competitive. It's an outside shot that'll get it. But the idea of putting a $100 million application together is the largest application ever assembled. And it just shows, an application helps demonstrate what you could do if you focus investments.
Well, a bit back there you mentioned that parking garage, like removing adding parking garages, right? But think if you remove a parking garage, how that will then create a space to have a business, not just hold cars.
That's Pioneer Courthouse Square.
Yeah.
It used to be a parking garage.
Right, and people were really upset. I lived here back then. I was a kid, but I remember people were upset that they were taking out parking to build that.
This used to be a freeway right here, right?
Right behind us, freeway.
It used to be a freeway, turned into a park. It's now the living room of Portland.
And these are decisions. The resources are there. Yeah, we'll take a left. It's clear. Oh, jeez. Oh,
that's an example of what you don't do.
Oh. All right, Jay. Glad you're okay, bud. Multitasking, it's difficult for men, actually, they say.
More so than for women?
Yeah. So,
I don't know, don't you like to talk on your cell phone and ride?
I don't, actually. I don't. I'm doing it right now. In fact, are you still on the line there with me, Brian? He's still on the line. This is, we're definitely multitasking. You have to be careful when you do that. And even if you're a cyclist, there's people's lives at stake, so we have to be very careful. But I think as things get calmer, then the mistakes, if there is a mistake made, less dangerous it is. So, yeah. Jay, I appreciate you looking at that. See what the screen looks like, but don't forget where to look to keep you safe.
All right, we have a green light.
And here we go. What's that?
So the new green line opens.
Don't die. Yeah. So, lost my train of thought there. Yeah, we're back in Northwest Portland. I think we'll give a ride back to Ryan's place. You can see where the Portland Pedicabs is, and then we'll ride Scott back to his work, because we've all got work to do. But it's nice to get out there and talk about this with y'all. Brian, are there any questions that people have for us, or any comments on this conversation that they'd like to? Any shout outs that we need to make? We've got the dropout ride this Friday, so if you're in Portland, come on over to Southeast. You can find out about the dropout ride at shift2bikes.org. That's SHIFT, numeral 2, bikes.org. Or MySpace and dropout ride, or dropout bikes. And that is one of the local bike clubs, probably one of many. And through here in Chinatown, we've got a
I hope it was. I make jokes with my guys, I talk to my guys, I make all kind of different jokes with them, So you have a good relationship. I just like them to do what I ask them to do and not what they want to do. You could ride with your bike to 44th Street, right? When you get there, don't park the bike in front of the door. If she's coming out with you, don't let her see your bike, because she's very funny. She don't like people riding with her stuff in the, and no put it in no bag. Walk right, if you can ride with it in your hand, ride with it in your hand, but don't put it in your bag, please. I don't put it in my bag. Don't put it in your bag. I have a lot of messages out there who nothing short and who get hurt, I only hope that they're right when they get hurt, In one day, like 3 guys get killed. That messenger job. One get hit by a truck, bus, car, one head fly off his body.
Got us.
It's...
You see him? Oh yeah, cool.
If somebody
Work for Discovery, you said?
All right, we're back. You're watching CrankMyChain TV. Hey, I think I better let you guys get to work. Really appreciate you being part of the show today. Scott, was there any final things you wanted to mention here, or support the BTA?
Yeah, I mean, as always, whether you're in Oregon, you should join the BTA. If you're in another community, join the advocacy organizations there. Get on the mailing list, make phone calls, do that kind of work. We're people, especially political officials, hearing from their constituencies, from the voters. It's how the political process runs. So yeah.
Absolutely. We appreciate all the good work you do. We'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
We'll see you soon.
Ryan, how about you? Any last comments for our viewers?
Thank the BTA for their advocacy. I want to thank the city for the new buffered bike lanes and the cycle track, and the mayor's office specifically. I also want to thank the Bike Business League for being a newly found advocate.
Yeah.
Look forward to see what they come up with.
Well, we got a meeting coming up here soon in October, I know, and I'll be trying to make that one. It's timing's difficult for me, but it's either me or my wife, who runs BikeRealtor.com, will be there, and we're supporting bike-based businesses. It's a healthy way to run a business. I mean, it's almost it's the best possible way I can imagine.
Healthy for the whole city.
Yeah. So thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Yeah, folks, if you're in downtown Portland and you want to get from point A to point B and you feel like you'd like a little rest or something romantic, get on one of the Portland Pedicabs. If you're looking for some a little sweet or treat, icicle tricycles.
Put your heels on wheels or beat the heat and get an ice cream treat.
Sweet.
Go.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All
Guys.
right. Well, Jaime, why don't we head down to the river? I'll play a little song and we'll call it a show.
I'll see you later.
See you, Ryan. And yeah, I would play right here, but we're gonna end up getting noise.
We'll go.
Yeah.
If you want to keep talking about John Howe, hey, get some fiber.
Yeah. Well, so John Howe, Team Beer, apparently is getting more fiber these days by eating Fruit Loops. So there you go, breakfast of champions, right? Little chocolate donuts. That's what the 1980 Olympic team was eating. That and smoking Marlboros. So whatever it takes. Do we have a fan page? There is no CrankMyChain Facebook fan page yet, but you know what? I think I should throw one of those together right away. Now I want to mention a little bit about what Jay, who is the trike pilot today, Cranky Jay, running the trike, running the camera, almost running into cars, but Cranky Jay is going to be, he also does a whole other show called Pirate Satellite TV. It's his other network. And Jay's zooming in on one of the active people that are down here. Unfortunately, there's some almost mentally ill around here and around any community. I've seen that guy before. It's not bicycles. He's got some sort of Tourette syndrome, I think. So
We saw him yesterday. Me and Tony we're like, we gotta get this guy on video.
then he probably, as soon as he's on video, he probably for whatever reason, psychologically, straighten up, and his problem would be gone. And then they'd have to hook up what we're doing right now and have a live web video feed, his whole life, and that would keep him from having that mental illness. We're kind of getting off the subject matter there a little bit. You are watching the only live television show I'm aware of that is done on the back of a bicycle. Now, we don't want to be the only one now. Just because we're only now doesn't mean we want to like keep it that way. In fact, we would love it if somebody came and made a better one than what we're doing. So if you have any questions about how to set this up, doing mobile video like what we're doing, I will tell you exactly every single thing that we're doing. There's just no proprietary stuff here. It did take a lot of work. There is a bit of equipment involved, but certainly compared to a mobile, any sort of other mobile news organization, very low priced.